The next question says, what is the difference between the test techniques and the testing tools? So first, let's explain what is the test technique. The test technique is used to help identify the testing conditions, test cases, and test data. We explained earlier a lot of types of test techniques. We have black box techniques, we also have white box techniques, and we have experience-based techniques. Black box techniques like equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis, and of course decision table testing and state transition testing. White box techniques like statement coverage, decision coverage, and path coverage. And also experience-based techniques like error guessing and exploratory testing. So test techniques help me in identifying my test cases and test conditions. So we can also say that the test techniques are used in test analysis and test design. On the other hand, the testing tools mostly are software, okay? They are programs that help me in testing my software. So like he says here, tools are defined as a product that supports one or more test activities. So it is a product, it is a software. This product helps me in planning requirements, creating a build, test execution, defect logging, and test analysis. So I can have a testing tool for any testing activity, okay, throughout my testing process. So for example, like we explained throughout our course, examples of the test management tools are Google Sheets, Trello, and Jira. Examples of test automation tools are Selenium WebDriver, Cypress, and Robot Framework. Examples of performance testing tools are like JMeter and HP LoadRunner, and of course in API testing we have like Postman, SoapUI, or Rest Assured for test automation of my APIs. It is also good for you to tell the interviewer the names of the tools, okay, and their categorization, okay. In this case, he will know that you understand the differences between testing tools. The next question says, what is random or monkey testing and when do we use it? So random testing, and we also call it monkey testing, is a type of testing in which the data is generated randomly, okay, and it is often done using a tool. So for example, I'm testing the login functionality with invalid users, okay. In this case, I might use a tool to generate random users or random numbers, and I begin to test using them. That's why we call it monkey testing or random testing, because those numbers or those test data are created randomly, okay? They are not created, for example, using a test technique like equivalence partitioning or boundary value analysis. So with this randomly generated input, the system is tested and the results are analyzed accordingly. This type of testing is less reliable because, like we said, it is random, and that's why it is normally used by beginners to see whether the system will hold up under adverse effects. But the better thing, the better way of testing is to generate not random data, but data that follows any test technique that you want, okay, based on the requirements and the behavior of the system. The next question says, what is the difference between negative testing and positive testing? So we have two types of test cases. Any test case can be positive test case or negative test case. So let's read first. So here he says a negative test is when you put an invalid input and receive error, while positive testing is when you put in a valid input and expect some action to be completed in accordance with the specification. So for example, you are testing the login functionality, okay? For positive testing, I'm logging in using a valid username and a valid password, or a valid email and a valid password. So this is positive testing. On the other hand, in negative testing, I'm testing, for example, or I'm logging in using a valid email and invalid password, or using invalid email. So this is negative testing. I'm expecting an error, okay? I'm testing that the error is happening. But if I'm testing a happy scenario, we call it also a happy scenario, this is called positive testing. And of course, in all my test scenarios, I should include both positive and negative testing. So for example, if in the interview I ask you, we need to test the payment methods, you should think of both positive and negative test cases. The same with the cart, the checkout, login and register, and any functionality inside our software.